From one inquiry to another, you can expect another mystery witness today at the inquiry looking into irregularities at the Public Investment Corporation. All witnesses have been placed under protection because of death threats. Conflicting testimonies, in the meantime, were presented last week suggesting that Deputy Finance Minister Mondli Gungubele might have lied under oath. Well, eNCA reporter Heidi Giokos is in Pretoria covering the commission for us. Heidi, good morning to you. So we don't know who the mystery witness is going to be. Let's perhaps then recap on what happened last week. The Deputy Finance Minister, Mondli Gungubele, being contradicted there by Ms. Hlatshwayo. Talk to us about whether the Deputy Finance Minister has had to answer more questions about these conflicting statements around the PIC board.
Well, he's definitely had to answer whether or not the PIC board was forced to resign or put under any pressure to resign. You must remember that the PIC board took the decision to resign on the 1st of February. And this is what we heard from Mondli Gungubele last week, Monday, when he testified. But then we heard some contradicting evidence coming through from a former board member, Hlatshwayo, who basically said that they were forced to resign. They were given an ultimatum to either resign or be fired 3 days later. We also heard the same evidence from Sandra Beswick, who was also a former board member. However, Mondli Gungubele had to answer to evidence leader on the Wednesday, saying that actually they were put under pressure to resign, which is really conflicting to what he said on Monday. And yesterday, when he was asked by eNCA whether or not he lied, this is what he had to say.
I remember exactly not every detail of my word. When the question was asked, was there a pressure? I said, we were called upon to look at ourselves. And I said, somebody, if you can check the script says, I'm saying to somebody else that might be a pressure. I said, we were asked to look at ourselves. Indeed, that's what the minister said. If you look at my statement now in the transcript, in the board meeting, it says the minister said, do the honorable thing so that I'm able to reconstruct the board. And remember, before I carried that message, I had a long meeting with the minister. And the essence was the minister asked us to look at ourselves. Those words became the straightforward words which I put before the board. But I'm challenging anyone who says I'm lying.
Well, Heidi, that's the Deputy Finance Minister answering again to that question from as late as yesterday, which was at Luthuli House. Let's move along now, Heidi. Let's talk about the focus of the PIC inquiry. Much of it has been focused around the Ayo technology deal. Is the inquiry likely to focus its attention on other questionable transactions?
Well, we do understand that there has been some sort of backlash and questioning around whether or not the PIC inquiry is actually going to touch on the investments into Steinhoff as well as into VBS Mutual Bank. We do know that this inquiry has been focusing very much on the Ayo technology deal, which is a deal that the PIC invested 4.3 billion rand into, a very questionable deal, given the fact that the PIC doesn't ordinarily invest into such companies. And, you know, the PIC Commission actually released a statement last week saying that they will be focusing on other investments such as Steinhoff and VBS. We do know that a large amount of money was invested into Steinhoff as well as a credit facility given to VBS Mutual Bank, which we do know has basically shut down. And obviously, all these deals really being the center point of this inquiry, trying to understand why the PIC invested into these deals, into these companies in the first place, potentially putting government employees' pension funds at risk. So we do know that the inquiry is moving along, and it will look into those two major investments that the PIC went into.
Heidi Giokos live for us in Pretoria ahead of the start of the PIC inquiry. Thank you very much indeed.